Okay, so I am actually filming the intro for this video on Monday, although this video took place Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday I just show me prepping dinner because today it's super nasty and rainy out. All I did was go and get some cleaning supplies and cook dinner and hang out with the kids today and do my normal cleaning stuff. There is some cleaning motivation. There is a couple good little recipes in there and just kind of what we did for our weekend back to school. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little all over the place. I was kind of a hot mess. We had 100 different things going on, but I hope you enjoy it and I will see you later and let you get into the video. Happy Saturday morning. I had a whole bunch of craziness happen this morning, but I will go into that later. But this is why I look the way I look. It's the Saturday before school starts here, so I'm getting ready right now to take both the girls. They're in the back seat, and we're gonna go to Target and hopefully be able to find everything they need for school there. We need some last minute things like folders, and I was gonna get them some new like little bento boxes for their lunches. And later today I had to go grocery shopping. We have some house cleaning to do, and if I'm lucky I can finish painting the dressers today. If not, I'll get to that tomorrow. But anyways, let's get into it. So I didn't film us in Target because, as you can imagine, it was a zoo with back to school shoppers like myself. But we were able to find everything that we needed, so we left and went straight to the grocery store. When we got home, I had the girls some leftover pull-apart grilled cheeses. I just made these with King's Hawaiian rolls and 3 different cheeses and delicious butter over the top. You can make these however you like. You could add tomato, you could add some bacon, or of course some pepperoni to make like pizza ones. So many ways. Love it because you can make 12 at a time, and kids always love a grilled cheese. Am I right? So of course they're eating that. They have their little Go-Gurts, and then I'm going to show you what we got at Target. So another little thing we got at Target today were, we couldn't find 2 of the same, but we got little lunch boxes, you know, for the sandwich and some sides. This one's for my youngest daughter, and then my older daughter picked this one. This one's cool because it has where you can attach a little ice pack, and it came with it. And then, so same thing, you can put your sandwich and stuff down here, do your little sides, and then put the lid on. And both of these fit in their little lunch boxes, so nice and easy, and that way you don't have to use Ziploc bags every single day. So we actually got invited to go swimming at a friend's house, so I decided to throw on a crock pot meal. So I take a pack of chicken breasts, and I'm throwing on some street taco sauce. This is the spicy chipotle tinga. And what I'm going to do is actually use this for nachos. This is also great to go in burritos, like to make enchiladas. I'm using a pack of chipotle chicken seasoning. This is definitely one of my favorites, and I cook this all the time. I love doing shredded chicken in the crock pot because it just falls apart. And my apologies, I'm doing this with one hand because I was too lazy to go upstairs and find my stand with my ring light. And plus, I was trying to get the girls moving so we could go and soak up the sun before we had to come home to do dinner. So I was just trying to go as quickly as I could. I'm using half a brick of Philadelphia cream cheese. You can omit this if you want, but I like mine extra creamy, so I always put that in. I use the juice of 1 whole lime. And yes, I buy fresh limes. Of course, you can buy the little plastic container they have at the store, but I use lime in a lot of my cooking, so I buy at least 3 every week from the store. And after I get all that squeezed in, I actually love to cut this recipe with some pineapple juice. This helps with the spice, it helps with the richness, and it also helps to break down the meat. It's just a really good flavor. I love to also use the pineapple juice and lime and mix it in my sour cream to make like an infused sour cream. So good. And that right there is just a good old splash of chicken stock. I put the lid on and I let it go for 4 hours. When I come home, I add cheese and I shred. So I am doing some cleaning before we're leaving. I had a load of laundry get done. I didn't want it to wrinkle, so obviously I'm folding up. As I'm doing this, my daughters are helping to clean. I have one picking up the toys out of the playroom and putting them back in their rooms where they belong. And then also, my other daughter is wiping down the baseboards in both of their rooms and the doors, just to get rid of any dust. My girls are old enough now, they're 7 and 9, where I like them to help at least clean up their spaces. So number one, they can learn, and number two, they can take pride in their things. So that's just something that's important to me that I like to do. Like I said, all of our bedrooms and playroom is upstairs, so I'm constantly up here sweeping, dusting, and vacuuming. So I take these dryer sheets, little tip, trick, whatever you want to call it. I spray them down with Febreze, and I put one in each of our pillowcases. And when you sleep, you can smell it through all night. It smells so good. I change them out about once a week. So now what I'm doing is just a weekly wipe down of all the bathrooms. I just filmed this one, which is my daughter's. It's actually a double vanity, even though you can only see the one vanity on camera right now. But I'm just using diluted Pine Sol, and we just wipe down the countertops, the toilet, obviously the shower, and then I'm going to also spray the cabinets and let my daughter wipe down the cabinet fronts. So this isn't my deep clean. I normally do my deep clean every other week when the girls are at school, and that's when I actually use like the bleach and the heavier cleaners for the floor and do the mirrors and everything. But this, I feel, is safe enough for them to be around, so I let them help with that. And this is us just finishing up, and once we're done here, I'm just going to straighten up our playroom. So our playroom, we have this big giant sofa that we all love to cuddle on and play games. So I just straightened it up, I vacuumed the rug, and it's good to go. So when we got home from swimming, this is what our chicken looks like done after the 4 hours. I added the cheese, shredded it up with 2 forks, made for the most delicious nachos, onions, jalapenos, sour cream on top. Perfection. So this is the next morning, and what I'm doing is prepping some school lunches because my daughters start their first day on Tuesday. So one of my daughters likes pepperoni sandwiches, so I'm using pepperonis and a piece of provolone. You can use mozzarella. I just happen to have provolone, and she loves both those types of cheeses. I used to have a sandwich like mold that made the little Uncrustables, but I couldn't find it. So I'm using my egg rings. It didn't work 100%, but it worked good enough to get like all the crust off, and it did seal it because I do like to pre-make these, and I wrap them up in saran wrap, and I put them in the freezer, so I do like them sealed. And then for my youngest daughter, what I'm making her is what we call a Reese sandwich. It's peanut butter and Nutella. These are actually really delicious, and I love doing this for breakfast, like as toast, because the peanut butter and the chocolate melts together. So good. You can add banana. You can add marshmallow fluff. You can put in some crumbled granola. I'm telling you, it is like a little delicious treat. But I'm just doing one side peanut butter, one side Nutella for her. And same thing, I'm going to use the ring mold to just, seal them up as best I can. My oldest daughter will actually eat the crust, but my youngest daughter will not. So for hers, I always have to make them this way. And when I make my sandwiches, I make about a week's worth at a time, just so they don't get bored of eating the same thing. And that way I don't have to worry about my freezer getting taken over by a million frozen sandwiches. So this is how I just wrap them in saran. Cut it across and wrap it up, and I put it in their bento box like that in the morning. And by the time it's lunch, they are thawed out and good to eat. So these work good. I'm telling you, these work for husbands too. Like if you make some ham and cheese sandwiches or whatever, it works. Especially because I'm not a morning person, so the quicker I can get things going in the morning, the better. And then I just stick them in the freezer drawer, and they are good to go. So now I'm going to make me a little iced coffee. to get my day going because I was struggling on the bus, okay? I like to make my iced coffee at home just to cut back on calories and sugar. This is the International Delight French vanilla, and it's the zero sugar one, so it only has 20 calories a serving in there. And then I like to use a flavored coffee. This is just a caramel flavored coffee. And I'm just pouring it in my tumbler over ice. I did let it cool in the fridge for about 30 minutes since I fresh brewed it. And then I just throw me a generous splash of my creamer in there. So I probably drink about, 35-ish calories, depending on the serving. But it's so good, y'all. I'm telling you, if you're trying to cut back and be good like me, give it a try. You'll like it. Highly, highly recommend. So for a little treat before back to school, I took my girls out to brunch. This is a little restaurant in our area called Crafty Draft. They make the most delicious chicken and waffles, and my girls love Belgian waffles. So we had fun hanging out here, and I can't believe they're going to be in 2nd and 4th grade. So this is Monday morning, and we were all off today, so we enjoyed some mimosas. Not the kids, the adults, obviously. But I am starting to make some scalloped potatoes ahead of time because it is a nasty and rainy day, and that's how it's supposed to be all day here. So I want something nice and warm and comforting. So I'm using these little gold potatoes. I recommend either using gold or red potatoes. That's what they look like, all scalloped up. I'm going to put pepper, salt, and of course onion powder and garlic powder, which I pretty much put on everything. Those are my go-to seasonings. And these are going to be covered in a cheesy cream sauce and baked in the oven. You guys, this is one of my most requested side dishes for holidays. And of course, just by my kids, because who doesn't love potatoes covered in cream and cheese? They are so good. So after I re-season the backside a little bit, and of course I'm going to stir, I'm going to start and show you how I make my cream sauce. So I start by making a roux. I use about 3 tablespoons of butter. Yeah, no, this is not like diet friendly. I eat relatively healthy most of the week, so every once in a while I like to go for the full fat. I mean, why not? You only live once, right? So, of course, add a little bit of flour, and we're just going to cook that down and out. So that way when we go to put our sauce together, it just thickens up nicely for us and doesn't break or separate. I'm using heavy cream because, girl, why not? And then a splash of milk just to make sure I have enough sauce to really coat my potatoes because I want them drowning in this stuff. I'm using a triple cheddar, about half the bag. And I'm also going to add in some mozzarella, just a handful, just so that everything's real creamy. And that way you get like that stringy pull apart quality when we take a bite into those delicious potatoes. So I'm going to let that simmer down and just thicken up. And once it does, and it looks like this beautiful creamy sauce here, I am going to just evenly pour it all over these potatoes. And I just put the potatoes kind of in thin, even layers all over the casserole dish. Look at that. And I scoop out every last drop of that yummy sauce, y'all. And then I'm going to use the rest of that cheddar cheese that I had as a triple cheddar blend. And I am going to make a nice cheesy topping with that. So I cover this in foil and bake it in the oven for about an hour. And like I said, you can make this ahead of time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to let it soak in the fridge, and I'll pull it out about an hour before I want to serve it and put it into the oven. I like to pull off the tin foil about the last 10-15 minutes so the top gets real golden and bubbly and you get those crispy edges. Oh, it's so good. And like I said, on this cold, rainy day, it's definitely what I need. Look, it's not even baked yet, and it already looks delicious. So I am about to serve these delicious cheesy creamy potatoes alongside some garlic butter chicken that I made. And we're just going to enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope everyone has a safe and fun school year, and I'll see you in the next video.